All right, coming up next, we'll be chatting with singer and songwriter Steve Griggs, and he's going to share with us his single, Daddy Like Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thank you for listening to the What's Up Cindy B radio show. I am your host, Cindy B, and on the phone we have country singer and songwriter Steve Griggs. Steve, how are you?
Doing good, Cindy B. You doing all right?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it.
I enjoy being here. Glad to be here.
So, Steve, since you are new to the show, what I usually ask singers and songwriters, what made you think, you know what, I want to be a singer and songwriter, I want to be on stage, this is what I want to do?
Well, I started learning guitar and picking guitar with my family about 11 or 12 years old, and I played guitar and sang publicly and since I was a kid, so I just decided to pursue the music career.
Did you ever have professional training, or you just started playing a guitar when you were young? What was the process for you?
Yeah, I played guitar when I was young, and then right out of high school, I went out on the road and played with some folks out of Waco, Texas, Benny Doss and Brazos Valley folks, they called themselves back then. Mm-hmm. And I played with them for quite a while, and then I went out to California and played music out there for a while, and played with David Frizzell and Shelley West and all them folks, and just played all over the Midwest and down into Texas and California, and then I got married and decided to give it up because I didn't think it was that good for a married life, you know. Mm-hmm. So I kind of put it aside for a while. I'd still play with folks around, you know, and they'd ask me to sit in and such as that. But I gave it up for quite a while and ran my own businesses, and then I went to prison for a while. And when I got out of prison, I just decided to pursue the music.
So when you were in prison, did you come up with stuff to write, or was it more of a personal experience that you wanted to tell people about? What kind of music do you like to write besides life experiences?
Well, I write all kinds of songs. I wrote, a few hundred songs, I imagine. And I write about all kinds of things, not only prison experiences, but just life experiences. That's basically what I draw on, is pretty much life experiences and things that either I go through or somebody else tells me about their life experience, and I start writing a song about it. And my songs kind of come to me like a lot of people will sit down and they'll struggle with writing a song and all that. My songs, the way I write, the songs just all come to me at one time, pretty much. The music and the lyrics usually come to me basically all at the same time.
Do you have all the writing responsibility to yourself, or do you have a team that helps you?
I do it all myself.
Oh, that's awesome. That is really cool. So tell us about your song, Daddy Liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones.
Well, that's a perfect example of a song that isn't about prison. As many songs as I write about prison and that type of stuff, Daddy Liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones is a song about my life, and of course my dad. He liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones, and he used to have honky tonks, and he had some of them folks come in there in the late 50s up to about the mid 60s. A lot of them guys would come through there. Lefty, I remember seeing him there in the honky tonks, and Johnny Cash and Jerry Lee Lewis and Fats Domino and all them guys. Mm-hmm. And of course, I was just a little kid then, but I'd sneak in the back door and sit there and watch them, you know, and I kind of idolized them folks because I just liked what they were doing. You know, it looked like a lot of fun to me.
All right, so guys, let's hear a little snippet on this amazing song, Daddy Liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones.
Daddy liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. Daddy liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. He used to listen to him singing on the radio. When he heard him come on, he used to turn it up to hear him moan. Well, he liked country music. Well, he liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. When I was just a boy, I learned to pick the guitar and sang me a country song. I used to listen to the radio, Lord, it carried me away. Branded man, mom and dad waltz, and he stopped loving her today. Daddy liked Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. He used to listen to him singing on the radio. When he heard him come on, he used to turn it up to hear him on.
Oh my goodness, I love the honky tonk. It's really awesome. I love it. It's so old country that you don't hear anymore. It's so awesome.
Well, thank you. That was the intent in that song is to have the original sound of something like what my daddy would have liked. He passed away in 2005, but that's something like he would have liked.
Oh, well, that's an awesome song. It really did bring me back to the 90s. It was just a really different time back then than it is now.
Yes, I think of course, all music keeps evolving and changing, and I think my purpose in this album was to play some of the old traditional music that we all grew up on, and to stay away from some of the new riffs and the music and the guitar licks and all that stuff, and just to make the sound like we grew up with, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So you mentioned that stuff that your dad would like, Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. Do you think that those are the singers that inspired you in your music, or do you have other singers that have really inspired you?
Well, other singers inspired me, certainly. Johnny Paycheck is one. Johnny Cash is one. I was inspired with Charlie Pride. He had a certain sound, but I always liked his music. A lot of those guys, Jerry Lee Lewis, inspired me a lot. It goes on and on. Lefty, Haggard, and Jones had a kind of a thing with me because my dad knew all those guys, and like I say, used to hire them to come in and play. And he really liked them, and he really liked Lefty Frizzell, and of course George Jones. You know, who doesn't? But then he liked Haggard when Haggard came along, and Haggard was influenced greatly by Lefty Frizzell. So how he couldn't go wrong by being influenced by Lefty. So all those guys I named in there. There's so many more that I couldn't put in, but you just got to pick what fits in the song when it came to me, and those are the three names that came to me. So that's the way we went.
That's awesome. So I mentioned you are promoting your song, but is this part of an album, a CD, or is it just a single you're promoting?
Well, we're promoting the whole thing. It kind of took off faster than what I intended, for sure. And I think what everybody expected. We first came out with the song Lefty, Haggard, and Jones, of course, before, unfortunately, Haggard passed away about a month after I released Lefty, Haggard, and Jones. And it just took off so fast, and everybody was asking for the album. I wasn't going to release the album until about May 1st. And in April, everybody was just, I was getting calls from Europe and a lot of radio stations asking me to send them the album because they had heard about it. And the word kind of got out, and it was probably my fault because I had the album in my hand, and I was showing it to a few people and kind of getting their opinion and getting some reviews. And you know how that goes. People don't keep it quiet. You know, when they hear good music, I guess they really liked it, and then they liked it. Overwhelmed me. They liked it a lot more than what I had even envisioned. Mm-hmm. And thing just took off. Everybody wanted it, so I just said, okay, it's released now. I didn't have a release party or anything like that. I just started sending it to them. I said, there you go. And my publicist got on to me and said, well, you're jumping the gun. You're supposed to wait. You know, we're going to release this single, and then we're going to release the album. But I said, let them start spinning it. If they want to hear it, let them hear it. You know, I'm very humble and grateful that everybody liked it. So if they want to play it, let them play it.
Yeah. So is this Fort Worth to Bakersfield? Is that what the CD is called?
It's called Fort Worth to Bakersfield, and it seems like it was unintentional in this album, but it seemed like I guess everything has a story, you know. And my personal experience going from Fort Worth to Bakersfield, when I left Benny Dawson, them boys down there in Waco, they started working me too much, and so I got word from David Frizzell that they were playing out there in Reno, actually, and so I was going to go out to Bakersfield and start playing some music and, you know, see if I could make a little better living. So I had enough money to catch an airplane out to L.A., and then I hitchhiked up to Bakersfield. So that's just my kind of personal experience of going from Fort Worth to Bakersfield, and these are the songs that kind of fit into that era of my life.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. And the fact that a lot of radio stations called you to sing this song because of Merle Haggard dying a couple of weeks ago, what emotion, I'm pretty sure you were excited and all that, but what came to mind when you got those phone calls?
Well, of course, it was very touching, and I hated to see Merle pass away. And I met him one time out there in California when I was playing, and he seemed like a real nice guy, and I hated to see him pass away. But at that point, I said, well, I don't know, I believe in God, you know, and I guess God just let me make that song there as a tribute to him. You know, he's the last one that was living in those three. And when I wrote the song, of course, Merle was still alive. And but now the song came out, and all three of those guys are gone.
Yeah.
Pretty touching.
That is awesome. Are you currently working on new stuff?
Well, I always work on new things, and probably about August or 1st of September, we'll start in on getting a new album ready. We'll record it next fall, and then we'll release it early next spring.
Really cool. Can you tell us a little bit on what you're working on?
Well, it'll be a lot of the same type of songs, mostly story songs about either about my life or somebody else's life experience that they relate to me. That seems where I fit the best is telling stories. So that's basically what it'll be. Is different, of course, different subjects and just I have a lot of songs already written. So I can record an album, but I'd like to put a few new things on there too, and kind of move it on from that mentality of this album singing out here in the free world.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Are you going to be performing in the DFW as well as outside of Texas, or just in the Texas area?
No, we'll be performing all over the place. We go out to California, out to a place called Pappy and Harriet's out there in the desert near Palm Springs. It's near Joshua Tree there, and it's just kind of it's an old mining town that's turned into they have a saloon there called Pappy and Harriet's, and so we go out there every year, and a few other venues in California. Of course, we'll be around Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin, and San Antonio. We just came back from San Antonio a couple of weeks ago, and we'll be playing, let's see, this Friday we're playing over here in South Lake, which is near Dallas and Fort Worth. And then we'll go to, we're playing down at the CMA Fest in Nashville.
Oh, that's so much fun.
Yeah, a place called Alley Taps. We'll be playing there on the 11th. So we go down there, and then we come back, and we'll play a show it's a 45-minute special show for KNON radio here in Dallas. And then we'll play up in Missouri and back down to Texas, and we play some of the Cherokee casinos, because I'm part Cherokee Indian. I kind of got him in there with the casinos, fortunately.
Oh,
so
awesome.
We'll be playing up there a little bit, and, play in Mississippi in Biloxi down there at the thing they called Americana Fest, I think is what they call it. It's right there on the beach.
Wow, that is too
cool. So we're
cool.
just kind of all over.
Yeah, and that's awesome. That is really, really cool. So, Steve, where can we go and get more information on future tour dates and more on your music?
Well, you can go to stevegrigsband.com, or you can go to Facebook, Steve Griggs Band on Facebook. You can go to Reverb Nation, listen to some of my music, and I think some things are on there about us. And of course, we're on iTunes and all that stuff. But the best place to go probably would be stevegrigsband.com, to our website, or to Facebook, or Twitter, of course, and that'd probably be the best place to go.
Wow. Well, like I mentioned, Steve, thank you so much for coming on, and I really enjoyed your song. Like I said, it brought me back to the 90s when you heard that type of music, which is awesome. So I really wish you the best, and I can't wait to have you back on and share your next music.
Well, thank you very much for having us, Cindy. We sure appreciate it, and like talking to you. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. If you could hold the line, I'll be right with you, okay?
All right.
All right. So that was amazing. And like I mentioned, it's something that you don't listen to anymore. So if you want to get more information on Steve, visit his website, www.stevegrigsband.com. And really, really, really recommend people to go visit his website, check out his future concert dates, as well as his new music that he's working on and might be releasing soon. And of course, guys, make sure you visit our social media sites, Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cindy B Radio. Go follow us on Twitter at What's Up Cindy B. And of course, we're also on Instagram, Cindy B Radio. Thank you guys so much for listening. I will talk to y'all next time. Bye-bye.